Hello and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. My name is Spanj. It may be time to get excited about Empyrion Galactic Survival again. The updates that we've been seeing so far have me a little worried, I gotta be honest. They've been sort of almost dialing down in sort of feeling and stuff. A lot of the updates we've seen are kind of like quality of life improvements around combat. We've seen things like, you know, how the guns move when you're sprinting and whatnot, and little fixes and changes here and there, but nothing really major, you know. And for a while I've been sort of worried at the back of my head. It's like, wow, is Eleon like kind of dialing down? Are we seeing the kind of end of Empyrion development? Well, I can safely say that that sort of fear, I suppose you could call it, that doubt, I suppose, has been laid by news, a new announcement that came up from Eleon a few days ago, a couple of days ago, and it's on their forum, and I'll link it down below so you can have a look through it yourself at your leisure. But I'm just going to quickly summarize through what they said here, and you know, we're going to have a little sort of talk about what each of these points may mean. I'm not going to read it all because some of it's just sort of background and stuff like that, and you can read it yourself. But some of the highlights here include things like a bunch of new POIs, which is always good, of course. New creatures, yes, it's a simple little thing, isn't it? New creatures. We've still got Triceratopses running around in the game, I think, somewhere. And this one's interesting because it talks about changing some of the game starts from the old escape pod to more exciting starting conditions for Maspron, Ningwes, and Skillion. What could that mean? Are we seeing some of the sort of maybe start ideas from Reforged and Project Eden coming in, where we got to escape from prison, or maybe we'll crash in an SV or something? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see what they define as exciting start conditions for Maspron, Ningwes, and Skillion. Ultimately, the 4 moon start is staying, and they're just going to be adding to it. Ultimately, new game starts for me is a great idea. I personally love the one where you start in the ship and you've got a lava planet below you and you've got to try and figure out how to get out of there. The Ashon system, I think it is now called. And mini stories to go with each of those starts by the sounds of it. New deco system is being expanded to more planets. But one of the most exciting things is this one here, a new block that generates drones to defend your base and vessels. We're going to be able to have our own drone carriers. We're going to be able to defend our bases with our own drones. Drone to drone combat. Presumably when the Xerax do attack, then our own drones will respond and fight the Xerax drones. I don't know how that's going to look or how it's going to play out, but it's interesting, and it's a proper change. It's a proper new development. It's something, a new feature to the game, and something that we've really been missing kind of this scale for quite a while now. So that's very exciting. We're also going to see more combat between AI versus AI. I'd love to jump into a system and just see the Xerax and the Legacy going at it, you know? I'm not sure on the wording of this one. I'm not sure if this means that there are new shapes coming or that they are changing the shapes of deco blocks. New deco block shapes implementation. So are we getting new deco blocks? Are we getting new block shapes? Are the existing deco blocks getting new shape? I'm a little bit confused about this one. In any case, new blocks, new deco, it's all good stuff, isn't it? Water and lava blocks logic. Sure. And there's a lot of questions that this raises, really, and it's like, okay, what does that exactly mean? Are we going to be able to implement water and lava blocks into our builds, or is this for POI planet builders? What does that mean exactly? But anyway, water, lava blocks logic. Of course, ongoing works around bug reports and feedback and stuff like that they point in here. That's fine. And then motorbike update. Yeah, the current bike leads to many bad experiences, they say, and we will solve it by having a new vehicle that also better fits the game. The hoverbike. This has been talked about for quite a while, actually, the hoverbike, replacing, you know, that wheeled contraption that doesn't seem to turn with something that does. And I think a hoverbike is a perfect substitute for that, and I look forward to seeing how they do it. It does possibly, or maybe it will render all those little hoverbike starter vehicles a little bit redundant, but you know what those hoverbike starter vehicles represent? The need for the hoverbike. So I think they would have done their job, and hopefully the new Eleon hoverbike will be a vast improvement over that wheeled monstrosity that we have to deal with now. Looking forward to it. And they talk about optimization of the game, new sound systems, they go on to helping creators, like sort of scenario creators, define their playfields a little bit better around the Blueprint Factory. But then they come across, they introduce a very interesting post. In addition, we will add the requirement to have all devices actually unlocked from the tech tree before allowing to produce a blueprint factory. Currently, only the player level is required. So this is something I've raised several times in the past and kind of poked and sort of mocked and stuff like that. You can, as long as you're level 10, unlock or spawn in an SV, HV, or whatever that is equal to level 10 without actually unlocking any of the devices from your tech tree that are in that blueprint. Now, I know there's going to be a bit of a mixed reaction to this change, but I believe it's a good change and a solid change. It really does actually bring the whole tech tree and leveling up thing kind of together and works towards making that blueprint factory a little less cheesy. You know, some people will be, like I said, disappointed because ultimately they won't be able to spawn that vessel in necessarily. As soon as they hit level 10, they will then have to go through the tech tree and make sure that they've unlocked the things. I do hope that Eleon do this properly with a bit of a rework of the tech tree as well, i.e. to make points come in a little bit quicker so it sort of matches your level, or a sort of rework of the tech tree at all so more things are unlocked earlier on, or you know, it's just thought about a little bit better. Ultimately, this is going to take some adjustment for people that are used to just being able to spawn things in when they hit that whatever that magic level. You know, you hit 25, you think that's it, I can get everything in the game now, I can unlock any vessel, I can spawn it in. Well, now you're gonna have to unlock everything in the tech tree, and for scenario creators that's going to be a real big consideration as well. The Reforged Eden scenario, for example, level 25, and you can spawn in things with sort of railguns on them and stuff like that. And there's so much to unlock in the Reforged tech tree. And the Star Salvage tech trees, for example, they're going to have to probably rethink that approach a little bit, depending on what change Eleon make here. So this is a big one, and it's going to really impact people's gameplay and the order and what they're used to playing in, and how they go about bringing blueprints in. I suspect the workshop might be flooded with blueprints that have very few devices on them that you then add as you sort of acquire them, you know? So this is going to be an interesting one, guys. Keep an eye on that. And then we go to sort of visual updates. We're going to get some graphics improvements by the look of it, which is sorely needed. And new devices, visual redesign of our oldest device models. So that's good. Hopefully they do a good job with that, because they redesigned some devices before and they look terrible. Hopefully we'll get some really decent redesigns. And then they give us a very sneaky little peeky. Something around the winter release of this year, the most ambitious development yet that Eleon have tried. They label this as a true game changer, okay? So, I mean, we'll obviously be the judges of that, thank you very much. But here's a picture that they released as a little teaser of their new scenario called the Dark Faction. There's some interesting points about this picture. I mean, it's obviously a concept art. Now, do we take it at a literal value? Because the character in the middle very much looks like the character in the game. He's got the same jetpack and things like that. But you'll immediately notice that he's rocking 2 laser swords. In fact, they look kind of like the swords out of Halo. So be careful about that one, guys. They look a little bit like the gauntlet. Yeah, maybe not that design, but something similar would be good. But the point is, does this mean that we're going to be getting melee weapons? Or did Eleon put this in because it's a cool picture? Nah, not thinking that maybe people will take it a little bit literally. Now, hopefully this does mean that they're adding melee weapons, because melee weapons is something we have been asking for quite some time. And, you know, the only melee weapon we have really is the chainsaw, and that's not really a weapon. It just, you know, it happens to injure creatures that come near it. So having dual-wielding laser swords and stuff like that, and we know that the Unity engine is more than capable of melee and all sorts of different weapon types and things like that, so there's not very many reasons to not include these sorts of things other than character animation. But let's not forget the whole new character model and the whole crouching and gun movement things that they've changed recently enables them to now add more character animations in easier, you know. So Are we going to get melee weapons? Now, in the rest of the picture, we see a couple of creatures. Now, they, on the face of it, they look like the kind of real creatures that we're used to that almost look like xenomorphs and stuff like that. They kind of sprint at you. They've got all various names over the years and various alphas. I can't remember what they're bloody called anymore. But these guys actually look more tree-related. I think they might look even more or almost root-based. So I think they might be part of the new creatures. Now, are we going to see creatures exactly like this concept art? Maybe. Who knows? The world itself in that picture as well is very interesting. It doesn't look like anything we've seen before in Empyrion. So really, is it a cool bit of concept art they're trying to get us like excited about? Or is it representative of actually what's coming? I don't know. We don't know at this point. I really hope it's representative of what we can expect, because it looks awesome. Yeah, I jump into a weird alien cave full of glowing tree things and what clearly looks like alien eggs, a bunch of tree xenomorphs, and dual-wielding 2 laser swords. Yes, please. Gibbs. When? The winter release of 2023. Now, typically, Eleon will release in the winter of 2023, somewhere around Christmas. Now, they have done before. They've done this. They've released just before Christmas, and then they've gone off on holiday and introduced a bunch of bugs while they're on holiday. Let's hope that it's an early December release. It gives them a couple of weeks to fix all the bugs and stuff like that. Inevitably, that will happen, and we will see this, like I say, somewhere early December. I'm looking forward to it, because I mean, there's so many questions here. Hopefully, we'll get some more information about all of this stuff that they've just teased us with, giving us cryptic points, and just raised a crap load more questions than answers with this. But the point is, yeah, I think it's time to get a bit excited about Empyrion again. We're actually getting some really big changes coming up by the sounds of it, and that's good. That's really needed, because I was worried. Anyway, there we go, ladies and gents. Like I said, I'll link to the full post down below in the video description so you can check it out for yourself. But that's the exciting news from Eleon. Do let me know what you think down in the comments. Any other questions you might have as well. Let's get the discussion going. And don't be afraid to also go over onto the official forums if you want to set up an account over there or already have one. Ask questions, see if you can dig up any more information. Dig. Push. And let me know what you find out. That'd be great. Cheers. Okay, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. I know it's a short little video, but I hope you enjoyed. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.